Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. One of the battiest members of the U.S. House is North Carolina Republican Virginia Foxx. And over the last several months, the 83-year-old who chairs the House Rules Committee has erupted repeatedly. Her shrieks, combined with confusion, seem to be getting worse. Here is Foxx in response to a jab from the youngest member of Congress, 28-year-old Maxwell Frost, a Democrat from Florida.
See, they say they're pro-life because they want the baby to be born, go to school, and get shot in the school. Die in the school, die on the streets. No, that is what they say.
I'm not going to say anything, but you've gone over the cliff.
I move to strike his
I'm not going
words.
over the cliff.
Wait, you've gone over. We were going to be quiet, but you've gone over now.
He didn't use any.
I meant every word.
We are going to strike your words. But on the other hand, it might be good to leave your words. It might be good to leave your words. Because that's how you feel.
Yes, Foxx needed somebody else to turn on her microphone after Foxx forgot. The Congresswoman briefly seemed to forget what this dispute was about, and then she looked at the young African-American Maxwell Frost and went full condescension with a loud Southern flair.
But you are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity. You will not. We are pro-life people from conception to natural death. Most of us are. And don't you come in here and say, we want to preserve life so people can get shot.
That's what I've seen.
Good for Maxwell Frost in standing his ground. Virginia Foxx has been representing North Carolina's 5th congressional district for 20 years. Her tenure has been filled with controversial votes and even more controversial policy positions. In her first term, she voted against a $51 billion aid package to victims of Hurricane Katrina, even though the package had the support of nearly all members of Congress and then-President George W. Bush. More than a decade ago, Foxx co-sponsored legislation that would stop children born in the United States to undocumented parents from gaining citizenship. In other words, Foxx was against the Constitution's birthright citizenship long before most MAGA extremists. And a few years ago, Foxx was fined for bypassing metal detectors put in place outside the House chamber following the January 6th Capitol riot. She tried to go right around them. But over the past year, it is Foxx's leadership of the House Rules Committee that has generated the most controversy and attention. Colorado Democrat Joe Neguse recently called out Foxx for flippantly changing committee rules and limiting speaking time, except her own.
For 45 minutes you spoke in this committee? 45 minutes. I spoke for 15.
Well, that was a one-time deal. I think it's time.
That's the new rule in the committee.
I think 15 minutes gets it.
Okay.
And I'm especially.
Just for the record, that's the new rule. And when the Democrats are in the majority, I hope
It's
Chairman
not-
McGovern intends to enforce it, because for decades,
It's not
the chair
the
of
new
this
rule.
committee has never shut down debate. And the chairwoman spoke for hours, 45 minutes on one occasion, an hour on another occasion. In this committee, we have the dates. And because I want to talk for 17 minutes, I want an extra 2 minutes to ask the chairman a question. But that's fine. Again, another precedent broken. So I'm happy to
And I think,
yield back.
Madam Chair, it's part of the debate that we are engaged.
I will tell. I want to say something. I would be much more tolerant of what you are saying if you weren't distorting what this resolution does. And I want to tell you, I believe we're held accountable long-term for scaring people for something that is not in this bill.
That bill was the Republican tax and spending bill that cut billions from Medicare and Medicaid. The assessment that it would send healthcare costs skyrocketing and force the closure of rural hospitals came from nonpartisan analysts. But Foxx calls such independent analysis distortion. Last month on the House floor, Fox first endorsed voting to release the Epstein files as long as the vote could be done under suspension, which means anonymously. The ranking Democrat on Fox's committee, Jim McGovern of Massachusetts, blasted Fox's hypocrisy on the issue of transparency and noted Fox's previous opposition in committee to releasing the Epstein files. First, here's Foxx.
Let's vote now. Democrats should stop, listen, and take yes for an answer. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves. The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the gentlelady doesn't oppose this? Boy, you have a funny way of showing it. I gave the gentlelady 9 opportunities in the Rules Committee to bring this measure to the floor. 9 opportunities. And every time I brought up an amendment, she voted it down. 9 opportunities. So to say that somehow this is always what you wanted, I don't know. That doesn't pass the smell test.
Does Virginia Foxx have a funny odor or smell? Well, if that's the case, she does seem to have the ability to clean things up. On the Epstein files, for example, even Virginia Foxx ultimately voted on the record to have the files released. Still, Fox's controversies continue to pile up. And despite her age and increasingly erratic behavior, Foxx seems to have no plans to leave Congress anytime soon. Unlike dozens of other Republicans, Foxx is seeking re-election in 2026. However, if Democrats take control of the U.S. House, Foxx will no longer be a committee chair. Instead, she'll be just another rank-and-file GOP lawmaker, squawking at perceived slights, forgetting to turn on her microphone, and standing as one of the most recognizable and loony Republicans in Congress. Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan. By the way, one of Donald Trump's economic advisors is acknowledging that a political stunt involving tariff revenue has become a mess.
The people who pay the tariff, if there is a refund, the people who actually paid for the good, the importer in most cases, they're the ones who'd be the first line of defense for refunding the tariff. But I really, really don't think that's going to happen. To be very complicated. And then that person would be responsible for allocating the tariff refund to the appropriate folks.
That sounds like a mess.
Yes, it is a mess. And that's why I think the Supreme Court wouldn't do it.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.